ever take a few steps back and look at yourself. Matter of fact, take yourself outside your body and then look at yourself and see how you plan yourself, nigga. Congratulations. It's the motherfucking chase. You feel me?
This song just put me in a get money mode.
Be honest.
I'm finna attack the money. I'm finna attack the money. Yeah, I'm finna work out. Yeah. This song put me in that mode.
Try to be real with some niggas and put on my money and show some love. You did me a favor, I knew you was shy, I knew you would show you was. It's only a matter of time for niggas get lined and hit with them slugs. Get found in the pool of your blood. Yeah, nigga. Remember they told me that we'll fail. Remember they said we'd see us out. Tell that to me like can't do it. I'm in the field like that in the fall. Niggas is sick and I wish them well. I'm in it wishing and wishing well. I put a brick in and wishing well.
Who make better pain music than Meek Mill? Who? When it comes to that putting that pain on paper, nobody does that better. Let me ask you this. Nobody does that better than Meek Mill. Let me play. Alright, one more song before I start rambling. I'm finna do a brain dump. But before that, I'm finna work out. I mean, after that, I'm about to work out. So I'll be getting into my workout mode. Listening to the B Print Lock-In season play. Why is it so low? B Print Lock-In.
My mama used to pray that shit, see me in jail. It's up, she got to see me in jail. On a visit with Lil Poppy and her.
Who made that?
Seen it be well. They got a smoker with a kid in my cell. Damn. And even worse, my dad black don't wanna see me do well. It's either that or black people for sale. Gave me 2 to 4 years like your life. Meet me in hell and let it burn like Lucifer. You look even stupid and try to press some people and power abusers. $44 an hour, you coward, they use it. It's not fake, that made you see me up there. When it's so called real, keeping up the cupcake. Next time, if you ain't got no money, you ain't online. Can't call your son, call your daughter.
Today?
Don't let them streets get a hold of them. Your daughter's now, it's gonna be a cold summer. Your son trapping in your homie giving a whole storm. And if you that pipe up, be put it.
Okay, so it's wait, let me turn this back up. And then I'm gonna finish it up. So this is gonna be a brain dump.
I was so calm with the ring. Then they got a swarm for my street. See my brother blood on that. How you wake up in the morning for the when the blood got a hole in the mouth, and the blood got a hole in the mouth, go to school, pull it the whole time. Ain't no PTSDs, them drugs keep it at ease. They shot the boy 20 times, but they could've told him to just freeze. Could've put him in a cop car, but they let him just bleed. The ambulance ain't coming, baby, just breathe. That's what the old lady said when she screamed. It's a nightmare on Elm Street, Friday the 13th. And then the 13th Amendment, they don't say that we kings. They said we legally slaves if we go to the pit. They told cats, stand up, you want to play for a team. And all his teammates ain't saying a thing. Stay woke. If you don't stand for nothing, you won't fall for something. And in the 60s, if you kneel, you'll probably be killed. But they don't kill you now, they just take you out of your deal. Kill your account.
That's crazy.
Check it. They don't kill you now, let's just take it out of your deal. Kill your account, look what money can spill. I was so calm with the ring. Then they got a swarm for my street. See my brother blood on that. How you wake up in the morning feeling?
When that's crazy. Okay, so that be needed. I don't know. If you're watching this video, this is a question for you. Is it just me, or is it like something sensational and empowering Why is my camera? It's something about dancing in the mirror or like dancing to your favorite song super duper loud. I mean, like, just loud as ever. Just totally spazzing out, like raging. Doing every type of dance possible. Like, I do ballet, I tap dance, I crump, break dance. I do every form of dancing behind closed doors. Behind closed doors, I really am a whole dancer. Behind closed doors, I'm a whole dancer. Like, seriously. I ain't gonna give too much as far as like my dancing content, my dancing videos, because I need people to stay focused on the message, and I need people to stay focused on the knowledge. In the words of our great philosopher brother Deontay Kyle, I need us to be doing the knowledge over here more than anything. More than anything, I want to make sure I'm a representation of us doing knowledge. Period. So, speaking of that, I told myself I'm going to start recording videos of me doing my brain dumps. Because why not? Like, why shouldn't I why should I? Why wouldn't I record it? It only makes sense. You know, it's part of the brand. So right now, I'm trying to put together a model framework based on stability, identifying like, okay, so it's called the butterfly effect, 5 pillars stability model. And essentially what we want to do is create a framework that can be used in school to identify areas where students are showing fragments that will affect their long-term outcome, long-term life outcome. So this 5 pillars, okay, so this is something separate, but this is just some notes I wrote down. Personal mastery, mental models, working on themselves while working on systems. And then I put like different words: behavioral, technical, pragmatic idealist, predilections, and I need to look up Edward Simmons and Herman Miller because right now I'm reading The Schools We Need and Why We Don't Have Them, which I read this book about 4 years ago, but I really didn't have a great overall summary of the book in a real way. Like, it's one of those things where I feel like these are the type of books where if you really want to be able to tell someone about it or recommend it or say that you actually took something from it, you got to read it at least 2 times. You got to read it more than 1 time. This is one of those books. So while I was reading this book, which now that I am reading it again and I'm about 1/3 of the way done, I'm on page 106. Anyway, I'm the type of person who writes and highlights in my books. If it's really my book and I'm not going to give it away, there's going to be a lot of stuff highlighted and written in the book. Oh, I'm going to show you. Okay. Oh, Please don't try to fail me now on camera. Okay, so one thing about me, I like to highlight and look through the book, leaving notes and stuff like that, because I do like to reread my books. I have several books that I've read over and over and over again, and those are the ones I mostly highly recommend. But this book is what is inspiring me to develop our framework. And I'm like, kind of, it's a mixture of, because this book is basically identifying the fact that the problems that we're seeing today and the problems that they were seeing in the early, like, you know what I mean? This goes back all the way to the 1800s. Books I'll be reading, and that be the thing. When we get to talking about what's going on in the community, in the world, in academics, which this is very academic focused. This is strictly academics. And that is the field that I'm most passionate about because I've always had a love for learning. I've always wanted to just learn. And I know that the experiences that I had at a very young age affected my brain and most of my cognitive abilities have just been severely affected by trauma, that if it was really identified early on, everything could have been totally different. So when I'm reading these type of books, like this book right here, and I was also reading The Fifth Principle, the author, the researchers, the scientists are talking about what was going on in the 1800s and the 1900s. And so to me, it's just mind-blowing that we have been talking about certain topics for centuries, for generations. That right there that's heavy to me. Like, that is so heavy to me. And I'm going to circle back to the whole point, which is the framework that I'm developing, which I've been working on for about 2 weeks. But, yeah, I am getting a little, you know, I almost forgot about the whole point, which is this. Okay, so yeah, this is just a few notes that I took yesterday while I was thinking, like, what are we trying to develop with TBE, Homework Lounge, TBE Education and Enrichment Solutions? What are we going to leave? What can we leave? What can we give in the form of a white paper, like actual documentation, actual research, actual framework that will be effective in something that can affect generations? And I think what it all goes back to is mental health and academics. Like, it all goes back to needing systems, programs, framework, organizations, businesses built around supporting the community, supporting the world, supporting the students overall. And so that's what I want to make sure we're doing with the Homework Lounge, but also with this framework I'm trying to create, which is the whole point. Anyway, okay, so it's called TBE 5 Pillars Stability Model. That's the name of the framework. That's the name of the system. And basically, we want to identify key areas where a student needs support, because I think that student outcomes are based on, the whole point of the butterfly effect is that every small thing has a bigger point. Like, It's all connected. It happened like with it happened with a major story and effect behind it, whatever it was, everything. And I really believe that. So with this framework, I think with this I'm oh god, with this framework, I'm trying to identify a way that we can implement a guide that can be used in schools and in the community. I know that's a mouthful, but like, okay, here's some notes that I have. So, okay, TBE 5 pillars stability model exists because we believe that integrating academic support with emotional regulation, identity development, and environmental consistency will not only raise grades but restore the fragments. So, the adolescent brain, let me go back. Here we go. All right. This is just something I was thinking about. The 5 pillars of stability. Pillar 1, academic stability. Pillar 2, emotional stability. Pillar 3, environmental stability. Pillar 4, economic and future stability. Pillar 5, identity and civic stability. Now, okay, so this is just notes, but I'm gonna turn this into an actual model and framework that we can turn into something. I don't know what it's gonna be yet, but this is something I am figuring out. And like I said, I've only been working on it for like 2 weeks, but I really think the earlier we are able to introduce students to life resources like mental health, financial, emotional wellness, physical wellness, spiritual wellness, self, having a good relationship with yourself, you know, having relationships with community, family, the earlier we introduce children and students to these ideologies, the better off they will be. Because I just think back to younger me, and I don't know, I just be thinking like, dang, if only I would have continued to, if only I was consistently in an environment where it was like, pushing academics and emotional, mental health, wellness over everything. It just changes the outcome. And so, if we can figure out a way to create a model that the schools and the community can get behind, I think it can be amazing. We could have some better outcomes for the students, for the community. I was looking for this one note that I did. I can't download Notion right now because I'm dodging paying Apple. I am not trying to pay Apple right now, so I'm using Notion on the browser, and I cannot see all my notes. Okay, this is another note. Without stability, learning becomes secondary to coping. That to me is going to be the foundation of the research that I do in regards to developing this model. Because I think the root cause of what is going on and what has gone on for generations is something happened that wasn't properly, something happened that wasn't identified and addressed, acknowledged, and taken care of at the time. And so because our relationship with everything is so interdependent, it affects. I'm thinking out loud right now. But I have been like trying to develop this thing and just writing stuff down. Because I just think, I know that everything affects us neurologically, psychologically, sociologically, spiritually, mentally. Everything is affected when there are in life there are events and happenings that just will affect us to our core, no matter what, just based on how human beings are built. And we have to take care of it. It's a certain way that matters have to be taken care of in order for us to evolve into stable beings. And I am living proof of that. So it's built on the idea. This will be a frame of that. My thoughts are a mess right now because I'm like trying to think out loud and record it, but also read some notes that don't make sense. I said children are not failing school. Well, I meant to say that. That's what I meant to say. Children are not failing school. It says children are not failing in school. Children are not failing school. Okay. Children are not failing school. Fragmentation is disrupting their capacity to learn. Meaning, these root causes that were left untreated created an outcome that disrupted a certain part of their development, whether it's emotional, physical, mental. It affected a part of the development that now created a fragment. Similar to like, they say people who drink a lot, it shrinks your brain. Like your brain is literally shrinking. Which is also what happens when you what is it, dementia and Alzheimer's. When you have memory issues. On a severe scale. So what I'm trying to explain, or what I'm going to do research on, is what has already been proven, which is that there are some things that happen in life that really do disrupt our capacity to grasp certain things, which also is a major, 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 major. Ouch. Um, God damn it. It affects you in a major way as you're developing, as you're growing up. So let's say something happened to you when you were 5 years old. They say that whatever happened, whatever point of mind you were in at the time that it happened, is where you stay. It's like you just get stuck in this, in that way, in that age, in that mindset. And I identify with that in a significant way because I remember being the type of student, the type of girl who just loved school, like who loved learning, who loved books and all of that. And then something happened to me that just changed my whole mindset. I became obsessed with that versus obsessed with like school and learning and stuff. And imagine that at 5 years old, like you don't think at 5 years old you would be obsessed with anything other than, school, your family, books, toys. I was obsessed with that trauma. I was stuck in that trauma for years and years and years and years and years, and it went unchecked and undocumented. And I think there's been a silent epidemic that has affected my generation, my mom's generation, my dad, granny, they parents' generations since the beginning of time. And it is these fragments that's happening due to mental health and academic needs not being met. Mental health and education. Yeah, I'll say academic needs. Not sure I could write that down. Let me say that mental health and academic needs not being met. Fragmentation equals fragmentation. Yeah. Let me save that. But yeah, the point is, I want to start recording these videos just to document my thinking process, my thought process. So I do want to create a documentary around TBE Homework Lounge, around just everything that is going to come of the Butterfly Effect Education and Enrichment Solutions. Like, I want to be able to look back on this and say, you really did it. You really created something that is going to be effective for the students. You've really created something that can affect policy. You've really created something that is truly pro students. We trying to be like we trying to be the student headquarters. We trying to be the president of the students. Not in like a controlling patriotic, you know, never that. Nothing like that. Nothing. It's more like we just want to go harder than anybody is going and just harder than anybody has gone. Other than our ancestors. Because who went harder for education than them? Who went harder for education than our... It's not even funny. I don't know why I'm laughing. But no, like, I'm so serious about it. For real. Let me play one more song and then I'm out of here.
That's right. Alright, what up, nigga? How the fuck do we build this? Real shit, look. Blue cup, black gun, hey dude, that's done. Favors from me, can't ask none. Came in the game and I'm passed up. I can't stop, won't stop. I'm the type to get more guap. You the type to for show flop. I'm for Brian Hurst and them dope spots now. Hard but it's fast, haters don't care. They see, they stop. See and they stop. Stay on the days with the load out brains. Smoking good shit, switch. The only thing I think about is my boss. See, we won't stop until it reaches the time. We gon' be there for the I'm still running laps, shaking faces, still running back. Talking guns, I got 100 straps. Don't be in your bush if you fuck with facts. That's a fact, I don't fuck with rats. This boss life, I got a lust for that. Pulling up in sex, blowing 100 sacks in my V12. I don't fucking slack. Snap it all, I got a ball. Ain't shot my dog. Rest in peace, my nigga fraud. Life is short, nigga, in this guard. But in the meantime, we try to get it all. You should get involved. I'm pretty raw. Know this rap shit, I'm pretty ball. Lil' penis, nigga, white niggas, nigga, black beamers, nigga, they can't see us, nigga, dog. Sometimes I get so offended by it. Don't compare me to none of these fucking liars. I'm fucking flyer, I'm fucking realer. Play with me, I'll be a fucking killer. I'll 7 takes with no fucking filler. Now victory lap, my fucking thriller, And if you broke, I ain't fucking with you. If you went broke, I was fucking with you. We bounce back cause it's nothing really. We gon' do it big till they fucking kill me. Hard but it's fast and these haters don't care. They see they stop. See and they stop. Stay on the days with the loud out brains. Smoking good shit, switch. See the only thing I think about is my boss. See, we won't stop until it reaches the time. We gon' be there for Yeah. Remember, like, banging on the NPC late night, getting kicked out the house because of that shit. Catching the 108 to the blue line. Niggas sitting on the bridge loading up their burners, sweating. We were just kids trying to get to it. Taking losses. Stand down. Frustration. shit right now is like, it's nothing. It's gonna feel like that for you too. It's hard, but it's fast, and these haters don't care. When they see they stop and stay on the things with them blowed out brains, smoking good shit, switching lanes. See, the only thing I think about is when I see my boss. See, we won't stop until we reach the top. We gon' be there for hey.
You hear a lot about all the work that comes with